Hello everyone, welcome to Job Skills Share, where you can learn and teach job skills. So what are we going to do today? Today we are going to cover thin clients. Now this section, before I start anything, if you're coming from YouTube, Google or any other place, this is a free platform where we teach job skills, and currently we are doing only IT. So basically we are sharing everything IT related stuff. So today we are going to talk about thin clients. What are thin clients? I mean, if you look at the definitions right here, thin client, sometimes also called lean, zero, or slim client, is a computer or a computer program that depends heavily on another computer. They can call it a server, they will call it a manager, whatever you can call it. So that was just a definition, but in real world, let me just show you guys. For example, I have a lab, and the lab have a lot of old computers, okay, and we don't have an IT person there, or we have one IT person. Then it becomes really hard for that person to manage all these computers. So what this technology does, it creates everything on one computer, and through network other computers connect to this computer, so you manage everything on this computer, but you don't have to do anything on the other computers. Now I will basically go through to give you guys a better idea and show you guys. You will get, if you don't have no knowledge about thin clients, after this video you will have at least some start on it, okay? So what are we gonna do here? We're basically going to install a thin client software on this machine, which is an XP. It's an old machine. Let's make a use out of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to install that server on this machine, and then I will tell any other machine, let's say for example that machine and the screen is messed up, don't worry about that. We are going to basically tell this machine to go ahead and start from this machine. So, okay, so now you guys are really confused, but let's just go and start on it so we can actually get to the point. So currently I'm on this machine right now, an XP machine. To install a thin client server or whatever software you're using, you need to install it first on this machine, because that's going to be our master machine. So if you're following me, make sure this is your test environment. Whatever you do here is just testing purposes, just learning purposes. This is not a real production type things, you know. Don't try this on your servers that are running and doing things. So just make sure you have a lab to do this kind of stuff. The software we are going to be using right now is Openthinclient. If you go to Google and type Openthinclient, the first link is openthinclient.org. Now, to make it clear, there are all other solutions out there, from HP, from Dell, from VMware, from any other places. They have some corporate level solutions. Those are there's not much difference. I mean, they're more advanced stuff. So it's a good thing to have. We have an open source software right there that can do almost the same things, but at the lower level. So we're going to put our hands on it and see how things work. So we're going to go ahead and click on that link. So make sure you guys read things. Now definitely it's in a different language. You need to click on this little English flag, and then everything will be turned into English. Now if you scroll down, you can read all that, but I'm going to go to download. And like I said, don't mind my screens because I like to use my monitors. I don't have too much money to buy another one, so I'm using my messed up monitor. But if you guys donate me, maybe I'll use that one. Okay, so here you guys can see right now there's a virtual appliance VM, and there's an installer for Java. I'm not going to use the virtual one. I mean, you guys can use that. That's going to be your first option if you want to make sure everything is working. But we're going to use the Java one, and you will click on the download. You will see the download. My machine is not up to date, so that's why you don't see that. Then I will get this message for downloading. Then go ahead and click on the download, and downloading will start. If you don't see the download option, make sure you click on this direct link, but it will come up like this. So I'll click on this link and say download file. And right now the file should be starting to download. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click on save, and then save it right here. So one thing for this to work, you need to make sure you have Java installed on this computer, and we will find that out in a second. If you don't, make sure you go to get Java. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure I get it. I usually go to, you guys can go to a site like java.com, but I go to File Hippo because it gives me installer. File Hippo, and I am going to go ahead and click on filehippo.com, and then I'll look for Java, which is going to be under my browsers. Java runtime 8.0, and this is a 64-bit. I'm looking for 32-bit, which is Java runtime environment 8 build 31. Now you guys just make sure you guys download the updated Java. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. Download file. And whoops, I think I messed it up. Let me go back and download it. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and click on run because I want it to run. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and click on run. Then you get this message. If you're using a Windows 7, 8, then you shouldn't be worried about it. You won't get this. This is just for XP. I should have downloaded the 7 version, not 8, because sometimes that just works with the older ones. But this should also work. We just want to get that application running. Okay, you're gonna get this message. Go ahead and click on uninstall. It will uninstall the older Java, as you can see right here. 7 update 10. And now I'm waiting for my Openthinclient installer to finish. As you can see there, this right here .jar. So for that, definitely you need a Java. So make sure you get your Java up to date before running this. Okay guys, once it's downloaded, then you just need to find where the file is. Double click on that file, and we are going to say OK to English. Say OK, and then you click on next. Make sure you read all the agreement. Go ahead and click next. Then you click on next again. Say okay, so here the target directory will be created. In this directory, we'll say OK to that. Keep it default, and then we're gonna keep everything default. Click next. We want this as a service. Yes. Go ahead, click next. Start the service automatically. Yes. And let's just wait for this to finish installation. Alright, so we are all done. What this means right now, I have made my server ready, meaning this computer is like the main computer that's going to be managing all other computers. So what I did, I set up 2 laptops out there, okay? So in a real world example would be, you have this machine right here somewhere in an IT room, you're the only guy managing it, you install this whole stuff on it, and then those 2 computers, maybe you have 30 computers in a lab where you don't need anything on those computers. You just need to make sure that they can boot from a PXE boot or a network NIC boot. So make sure these 2 computers are able to do that, to get connection to this computer, and then you can run the whole operating system from here to those computers right there. So like again, this is going to be an example software for you guys to learn about the thin client, and then go ahead and do your own research online, do some labs online from other big vendors. VMware actually provided free labs, so you guys can actually put your hands on the real stuff over there too. But you know, some people are actually using this stuff. Schools like with low budget schools, you know, they don't have money and stuff like that. They have old equipment. How can they reuse the old equipment? This is actually the best way to do it. So we're done with that part. Now let's go ahead and click next here, and we are going to say next, and we're going to say we're done. So when you're done this part, what you need to do is click on start and go to all programs and click on Openthinclient, and then click on manager. you'll get this little say run. Then you get this little screen, okay? Alright, and if you see something like this, your screen is not showing everything, so you can just right click, say maximize, and then it will get back to the right thing. So right now everything is actually ready for you. Let's just go quickly on top of it. So this configuration is already done for you, so what you need to do is just click on this little arrow right here, and then it will show you everything in there. Basically the thin clients right here, you can leave everything default, don't play around with that yet. Users, there's a test user, there's administrator. You can change this stuff right here if you right click on it and add it, but we're not doing this right now. We're only concerned about our computers to get started. So the first thing you need to look into the PXE clients right here, PXE clients right here. This is the easiest way to get your machines to talk into this server is to start the machine right now and let it find itself. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to leave this open. We're going to turn our machines on right now, and we will tell this machine to start from a network. So I'm using Gateway and Dell, two different examples there, okay? So F12 is my boot to NIC, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, boot to NIC meaning you need to go to your boot section, boot BIOS sections, and then you need to change your startup boot to like a NIC one, and I'll show you guys in a second on a second machine. So right now DHCP, it's looking for something right now. I mean, it's not going to start right now, but if you go back to your manager and right click right here and refresh, there you go, it already find it. So it's not going to come up right away because you need to give it permissions. So what we need to do is we're going to go ahead and right click on it, click on edit, give it a name. I'll just give it a name Gateway because that's my laptop. You guys can give it anything. Description is up to you. Don't put spaces in the name. So right now you see right here, this is a problem. Like if you can see this middle part, make sure you go up a little bit because my computer is a little old. So that's what you need to do. Click on next. Okay, client location is mandatory. So we need to put a location. I'm going to use US. I live in US, so I'll put US. You guys can put another one. This part right here, we are going to choose US login home in RAM. Let's try that first. IP address, I mean, you don't need it, but you can give it IP address. We'll say finish. So now you see that right now it jumped from here to here because we give it a permission right now. What we need to do right now is let it restart again. So we're gonna go ahead and start this machine from NIC boot and say F12. Takes a little time, it's an old machine. F12 PXE boot, and I messed up, so I'm gonna go back again. So right now it will pick up that address from the server manager, and you will see some things rolling up, most of it Linux. So as you can see right now, it detected the manager that we just installed, and everything is happening from the network now. You don't need a real system installed on this machine. As long as it has a networking ability, it will do its job. Their best, but as you can see, Gateway old laptop is not working, is just stuck in there. Maybe I'm missing some information in there and I don't have that kind of time to work on it. So because it's a learning video, we don't want to spend too much time on this. But I have another laptop here that's Dell computer. It's fairly little newer than that one, so we're gonna try on this one. So let's go ahead and start this one from network. We're going to say F12 to, that's fine, and I'm going to boot this from the NIC, which is right there. Say yes, enter, and now I'm gonna go back to my server here, go back to my PXE clients, and there you go, it picked it up right away. All I need to do is right click on edit, and I'll say Dell now. Okay, so we're gonna say Dell, and then I'm going to click next. Location US, hardware type. This time I'm going to use the auto log on home on server. Okay, I'm going to use that. You can use the in RAM if you want to, but I'm just going to use the on server. Let's see what happens to that one. And then we're going to click on finish. When you click on finish, it'll go back up, and now this computer will be able to boot from this server. Okay, so we're going to click on it again, right click at it. Let's play around with the application. So whatever you do on here, like let's say you specify that this machine, every time this machine boots up, it should get these applications, no matter who logs into it. Or you could do it by user. So you can say so you can put like, here, this user is a test user, test 1. If I say, you know what, test 1, let me just close this right now. If I say test 1 should be logged in, when test 1 logs in, he should get this desktop, this application, maybe you can add some printers in there. Let me go to edit, and here, applications, you can add more applications right here. So when this user logs into that machine, he should get all these applications, maybe some printers and stuff. So we already did that. Test 1 is an account that we are going to use. Now, login, okay, login client, what is that? Let's go ahead and check that. That's the test account that is already created, so it's going to ask for the login in there. So we're going to go ahead and click cancel that. What you want to do is let's go back to Dell again, and here we are going to add some application. So we are going to click our desktop, we're going to click VNC, and we are going to click on desktop, and then say OK. And then at the end we are just going to click on, actually let's go ahead for devices too. We want to add a keyboard. So keyboard is added, display keyboard, okay, so everything is added, that stuff is added. So I'm going to click on OK at the end, and now our Dell is ready. So our gateway didn't work. It's still basically running that little populated thing, and it's not working, not coming up. Maybe I'm missing something like I said. But let's go ahead and try our Dell. Let's start it now and see what happened to Dell. So I'm going to go ahead and start my Dell and start from Pixie boot. F1, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and click on onboard NIC. And it should start, and let's see what happens to our Dell. Our gateway is still not working, so let's try this one. So this is where the gateway got stuck, but as you can see, Dell just went through. So these are the type of problems you can come across when you're using the open source one, the Openthinclient. And to fix this kind of issues, you need to go to their forums and find out the support for gateway. As you can see, the same options not working, same options are here, it's working. So it's specific. That's how you do testings too. If you're a new learner to IT, this is what we do in our channel. I know it's a lot of talking for someone who just want to see Openthinclient. Now remember, we don't just talk about the software, we're actually talking about the technology here for learners. So I know I get a lot of comments sometimes, oh, you could have done this in 10 minutes. But that's not the goal here. The goal is for someone new to know this. There's something that's out there. It's called thin client technology. So then they can make their work easier and have their more solutions to it. As you can see right now, it's coming up and our mouse is working. Now you notice that this is not working right here, the pad, but I attached the mouse to this one and that's working. Those are little things that you come across, and like I said, you need to look into the forum to how to fix these kind of issues. So as you can see right now, there's our desktop. This is what we decided that this machine should get. Other things like keyboard and stuff, it should be working keyboard. So if you type something, let's say for example, if I go back to my mouse, this is my mouse right now, and if I right click here, it's working, my clicks are working. I can rename it and see if my keyboard works. Yep. So this is, everything is running from that server that we just made, nothing from this computer. This computer actually have Windows 7 on it, but that's not, there's nothing going on in a hard drive right now. Everything is running from NIC. It's utilizing its memory right now, but that's other thing that you need to make sure that you have at least a better internet for this kind of stuff, because everything is going through network and going to that server, and make sure that server has a little bit powerful stuff in it. These machines can be old, that's not a problem, but a network needs to be a little bit faster. If you click on this little section right here, it gives you more options like browsers, what's available to you. You can also lock the screen from here. You can log out from this session from here. This is the user that basically automatically logged in. And let's go ahead and click on browser and see what happens in there. If you see that your browser is not working, this could be you need to more access from there. If you don't see this coming up, then you need to check your server back in there, make sure that you have access to this. And also, if some applications are not working, like I said, you just need to go to the forum and look for the solutions. Right now I'm just demoing this software that's basically going to give you an idea of thin clients. So as you can see, the browser is working. You can type in there, let's say google.com, and just to test the connection. Let's say okay, go ahead and log out. So then you get this prompt right there. I guess you guys can see clearly, but there you go, Dell. And you can log in the username that we just created over there. You can create another username on the server. We created test1, so I'm gonna go ahead and try that and see what happens. Say login. It's gonna ask you for the password. I put a password 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'll say login. So before it was logged in automatically, now it's logged in as a user that we specified. But that's the main goal right here, okay? As you guys can see, this computer is not running from its hard drive. It's just running from its own resources and a NIC from network. It's going through all the way to a network, these wiring, and then coming back here. And that's the main part of thin clients, because you manage everything from one point, and you can manage hundreds of computers like this. Now, of course, we have one that's not working, but that's, I mean, that's a part of, like, you know, a software that's open source. They have done so much. We should give them a credit for making at least this happen. So people can just, let's say for example, there's someone there who just want to go to web, and there's no need for any other thing. They don't even print. They just go to web. They just do their thing on web. Why would they spend so much money or so much money on support to just make these computers up and running? All they need to do is to put something like this and just run it from there. I mean, one person managing everything here. So if a student leaves, let's say there's a problem with one account, somebody say, you know, there's a problem account, we need to put a login, different username and password. Imagine if you have like a work group computers, how many times you have to go to those computers and change those passwords. But over here, all you got to do is change it over here, and then everything is changed over there. That's the part of thin client. Now, like I said, for learning purposes, if you guys want to use this more of like a corporate business level type of solutions, then definitely you're looking for more of like a VMware now, Dell, HP type of client solutions. So I don't know which one is the best one, but do your research and look into this stuff. This is going to help you guys. Maybe in the future there will be a project and you think, oh, you know what? I know this solution. It can work for us. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you guys log into jobskillshare.com or .org, sign in over there and take the free courses, and also make sure you put a comment down there to encourage other students to join in so they can learn too. Thank you. Bye-bye.